Ghost notes are a great tool for drummers to add depth, texture, and dynamics to your grooves. So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 ghost note grooves you can learn today and apply in your drumming. Make sure to stick around to number 5, which is one of my personal favorites that I use on gigs all the time. There's a free PDF containing all the grooves in this video. Hit the link in the description to grab that, and let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, I just wanted to cover some ghost note fundamentals. So step 1, we want to make sure that all of the accents are going to be rim shots. So we're hitting the rim and the middle of the drum at the same time. So this will really help the accents come through nice and clear, and also when you play at quieter volumes, you'll still get that nice contrast between the rim shots or the accents and the ghost notes. Alright, and next we want to make sure that our ghost notes are about 1 to 2 inches off the head of the drum. So this will add really nice contrast against the accented rim shots. Now for the hi-hat, you have 2 main options. So option 1 is to use the molar or the kind of push-pull technique, which will add a slight accent to the on or off beats, if you like, to your hi-hat pattern, which sounds like this. Or the second option is to just play some nice relaxed rebound strokes and have the hi-hat all the same volume. And this just adds another texture and sounds great for certain grooves. And for the kick drum, you can use heels down or heels up, whichever you feel more comfortable. But for the bass drum, you just want to get a nice consistent sound at the same dynamic. Heels up. Okay, so for the first ghost note, we're basically playing 2 ghost notes on the E and of 1, and we're going to play the bass drum on 1 and ah. So we get, then we're going to play a rim shot accent, and then a ghost note on the 2 ah, and then 3 E and ah, 4 E. It'll sound like this. Alright, so for groove 2, we're using the 6-stroke roll, and we're just going to orchestrate it around the kit. So, as we know, the 6-stroke roll goes right, left, left, right, right, left. And so we're going to orchestrate this hats, snare, snare, kick, kick, hats. So we're actually replacing that double right in the middle with 2 kick drums. So we get hat, snare, snare, kick, kick, hat. And then we're going to add a rim shot and add a hi-hat. So it'll sound like this. And then part 2, we're going to do exactly the same, but instead of the 6th note being a hi-hat, we're going to play it on the floor tom. So we're going to go hat, snare, snare, kick, kick, floor, accent, hi-hat. And of course, all the others that aren't accents are ghost notes. So if we put the whole thing together, it sounds like this. So as you can see, this is quite a busy groove, but it's one of those great ones that's between a solo and just laying down the groove. So if the band drops out for a drum solo, you can start here, add in some variations, and you can just stay there and play a sort of groove solo, or you can start there and build it up into more of a drum solo, orchestrating the 6-stroke roll and other ideas around the kit. The next groove we're going to do is a swing funk kind of groove. So for this one, we're using swing 16ths. So the 8th notes will stay the same, but the 16ths, the E's and the R's, will be swung. So we go from 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, to 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. So for this one, we're going to play a bass drum on 1, and then we're going to play an E on the 1 E, do da. And then we're going to play accent on beat 2 and a ghost note on the R. Do get, got, got. Second half will sound like this. So we're going to play 3 E and on the ghost note snare bass drum, 3 cha-boom, and then an accent on beat 4 on the snare, and then a ghost note on the ah. So we get do get gat get gadu gat gadu get gat get gadu gat gadu. Okay, so next, number 4, we have one of my absolute favorites, a slow, punchy backbeat. So for this one, you can really imagine like a face-melting bass groove. This is awesome if the end of a song is a slowdown or, you know, just a heavy drop that's kind of a slower tempo. So this one utilizes a couple of fast 30 seconds. So it's kind of like a drag into the next beat. It'll sound like this. Now, one really cool trick you can do for these kind of grooves is if you want that really deep, punchy snare sound, grab an old head that is a bit worn or you haven't used in a while. You can either leave the rim on, but I like to trim them off. Chuck it on the snare drum. Also, if you detune a couple of lugs by about 3 or 4 rotations, then you get that really deep snare sound. So you'll go from this sound to this. All right, and moving on to number 5, another one of my personal favorites. So this one's a really busy groove with a lot of ghost notes. I really like using this one when it drops down to, say, drums and vocals or even drums and the bass player. It's a really good one to fill the space when the instrumentation drops down. It's also great for your technique because there's a lot of ghost notes and lifting and making sure you get those clean accents. So it's also a really great one to learn for your playing. So I'm basically playing on every single 16th note between the snare and kick here. The kick is filling the gaps. We've got some ghost notes and then some accents on 2 and 4. Really slowly, it'll sound like this. So practice these grooves slowly, making sure you're playing the correct notes and making sure that your limbs are lining up. Then add in the click and work up the speed from there and then apply them to your favorite songs. Then you can mix and match some ideas or write out your own to come up with your own ghost note grooves. And if you want to know some of my biggest takeaways from playing drums for 20 years, then check out this video here on that.